All right, we're back in the shop today. The last video, we got the trunk pan in. It's just kind of tacked in there. It's about as far as I got with that. I have since worked on fully welding the patch panels that were put in the floors. I got most of this side done. I haven't even started on the other side. I just kind of did that off camera because it's just boring and monotonous. But I think we're going to take a break from the red car in this video, and I need to work on this thing. I've got some trips coming up, and we got to go through the front end on it. But before I can do that, I got to get out of here because I got to work on my truck. Because during our real bad snowstorm we had the other day, I found out at the worst possible time ever that my four-wheel drive didn't work. So I got to get that in here and figure out what's going on with it. But like everything else, I go to move the car and the battery's dead. So we got it on the charger right now. So we're going to let the battery charge for a little while. And then I got to, like I said, mess with my truck a little bit before we can start on the car. Which I hate working on like my daily driver. It just sucks. Because that's time and money that can be spent, you know, working on this stuff. You know, the fun stuff, the hot rods. So I hate it when I have to spend money and time on my daily. That's just counterintuitive for building hot rods, you know what I mean? But such is life. That's just part of it. So, but yeah, that kind of sucked. Figuring out my four-wheel drive didn't work, trying to get out of my driveway and couldn't because of the snow. So got to get that fixed. But so anyway, I'll get that done, and hopefully we'll get back on this gray car pretty soon. All right, the battery on the car is still charging, but I thought I'd kind of go over what all we got for the front end. We have some BMR upper and lower tubular control arms. We have a new quick ratio steering box, new shocks, new bolts. These are the upper ball joints for the control arms. And I got a new rag joint. I think this car has a new rag joint on it, but I don't know. It was real confusing ordering this, whether or not you had to get a different style. So I just went ahead and got it just in case. But yeah, so this is our new stuff. Got, you know, polyurethane bushings, got greasable fittings for all the joints. It's got like a hammer tone finish, which, you know, whatever. I think I'd have liked it better if it had just been black, but that really don't matter. So I figure this is going to do the most as far as helping the steering, because I know that the gearbox that's on this car has got a lot of slack in it. So I'm hoping that's the majority of it. The control arms and stuff was just because we're going to be there. I almost decided not to use them and just save them for the red car, but I'm not going to. It's probably going to be a while before we get to the front end on the red car anyway, so maybe by that point I'll just pick up another set, because it will have adjustable tubular control arms and stuff for the rear, so we may spring for the ones for the front too when we get to that point. But yeah, come with all new bolts, and you know, all the cotter keys are like taped to it, so all that'll be new. I hope they're decent quality ball joints. I know the ones that we put on the, I gotta walk around this way because the cord for the battery charger is stretched out that way, but I know the ones that we bought for, you know, the ones that are on this car, they had came off of my son's Le Mans, I think. They're just some no-name, like aftermarket, like eBay crap, and they had really like shitty ball joints and stuff in them. I can't remember if I put new ball joints or just put new boots on it, or I don't remember. That's been so long. But like, these have never been ran on a car. Like after my son wrecked his car, we were trying to put it back together, and we bought these and put on it, and it just sat actually in here in the shop for a long time. And the boots and stuff for the ball joints just deteriorated just sitting there. And so I may have just put new boots on it. I don't think I put new ball joints in it. But Anyway, so I tried to step up and buy a little bit better. I almost went with QA1s, which I really wished I could have, but they're just very expensive. They're twice what these were, so these were kind of midway between the cheap eBay stuff and the QA1 stuff. So if I ever redo the suspension and everything on that black car the way I want it, it'll probably have all QA1 stuff on it, but who knows? I mean, at the rate I'm going, I'll be 100 years old before I get that car going. So, but anyway, so we're still waiting on batteries to charge so we can get this damn car out of here. I just wanted to show you the new goodies for it. So hopefully pretty soon we'll be working on this thing. All right, so got the car back in here after getting it out and working on my truck. I think the little actuator on the front differential on my truck is what's messed up. When I first got the truck, it didn't work, and I replaced that part once and it worked the one time I tried it, and then I didn't try it again until the snowstorm, and it's, you know, not working again. And I got under and kind of tested a few things, so I think I just got bit in the ass by cheap parts again. So you would think by now I'd learned my lesson, so, but I haven't. So we're getting back on this thing. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is get the lines off and get the steering column unhooked, because I can do all that up here before we start jacking it up. And I'm going to try to do the steering box first and go ahead and get that on and all bolted up, and then we'll do all the control arms and all that stuff. But I may wind up using these control arms on that car, because they do have, you know, decent bushings and should have decent ball joints and stuff in it. Like I said, I think the main thing is just my steering box, but I wanted to upgrade anyway while I was doing it. So I'm gonna get all this stuff unhooked and try to get that steering gear off. So hopefully everything goes smooth, because nothing else is going smooth today. This is gonna collapse. Oh, there it goes. Almost. Come on. Of course, I run the car for a while after I got it, the battery charged, and just let it run for a little bit. So now everything's hot under here. So that's fun. It may not come off until we start taking the box off. So try to get these lines off now. Of course, when I went to this LS motor, getting the accessory drive kit that I have to work with the old steering box, I have to use adapters, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get the box off. But hopefully all this stuff fits in the new one. I don't see why it wouldn't. I got a pan under it. I hope I catch all this fluid. Let's see. Looks like it. Oh, another thing about this old box is it leaks too, so hopefully this new one will eliminate the leak. Maybe take care of a few problems. Take care of the wonky steering and the little bit of a leak we have. I'm gonna let that drain for a little bit, and then we'll get her jacked up and try to get this box off. Alright, I hope y'all can see. Probably not, but we'll give it a try. Right in the bucket full of fluid. Damn it. Try to get this pitman arm off. Oop, wrong direction. Of course, it don't want to drop down enough, but maybe I can worm the box out of there. Fuse fell out. I wonder what that went to. Oh. I bet this thing is going to be heavy. Get that thing heavy. Alright, so this is the adapter I was talking about that I've got to put in this box. I'm going to take this off, but hopefully those threads are all the same. We shall see. I don't know, that one looks pretty big. I guess we'll see. Yeah. It fits, but I think I gotta put, it came with these little brass things that you got to put in there for it to crush up against that. So, I wonder if I should put some Teflon tape on this. I don't think you're supposed to, but I mean, it ain't gonna hurt if I do put a little on it, right? I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments if I'm not supposed to. I mean, if it's gonna hurt. I always forget which way to. All right. That ought to be tight enough. Oh. Golly. Ooh. That sucker there is tight. Or I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning. Put this plug in it so I'll lean it over. Maybe it won't spill all the fluid all over my counter. I really hope this. I really hope this helps. This thing is real. This car is really squirrely, like at highway speeds. Oh, damn it. Get that thing to sit up. Oh, I can find a wrench. I get several comments on my videos that say, quit talking and show us your work. And this is why sometimes I don't show my work, because it's just me being stupid. And lots of times when I'm working, I forget to talk, like to explain what I'm doing. Alright. Oop, whoop. Dripping fluid everywhere like an idiot. Them threads cleaned up. This stuff is messy. And I don't remember which way that was pointing, so, but it doesn't matter. Once I get in there, I can loosen it if I have to. And move it around. I'll put some tape on this one too, because I know this fitting leaked. The steering box leaked too, but I do think this fitting was leaking a little bit too. I want to say it was pointing kind of that way, maybe. like this where I can get some leverage on it. All right, I believe that'll work. I was going to go ahead and put the steering box on first before I did everything else, but I forget that you can't get this control arm off with this steering shaft hooked up. It's got to be loose where you can pick it up out of the way. So we're going to have to do all that first, at least on this side. We don't have that issue on this side. I don't think there's nothing in the way. Maybe the headers, but shouldn't be an issue. But the day kind of got away from me messing with the truck and then having to charge the battery on this thing, so it's kind of late and I'm getting hungry, so I think I'm gonna go eat some supper. I don't know if I'll be back out here tonight, but if not, I will see y'all first thing in the morning. All right, we're back. It's the next day. I'm gonna try to get this side tore down, get all the old stuff off. I'll try to set the camera up here where y'all can see what I'm doing. Maybe that'll work there. I think the first thing we need to do is get the caliper off and get it hung up out of the way, and then we'll take the shock out and then hook the sway bar and the drag or the tie rod in. Something to hang that up with. Yeah, you never want to let your caliper hang by the hose. So I wouldn't put to pack those bearings while we're doing all this. Oh, maybe I can reach in here and get to the shock. I hope I got it up high enough to get the shock and all that stuff out. Oh, the bolts are spinning. I'll be glad when the anvil on this impact wears out a little bit. Good Lord. Can't get the sockets off. Oh, this ain't gonna make me say bad words. I thought I was smart and laid all my tools out. I thought I'd clean them before we started. Save a little time. I know y'all love watching me just aimlessly walk around the shop looking for stuff. Gotta keep all this stuff together. I thought I had all the right stuff. Oh, I'm hoping I can get the bottom one separated without having to use a pickle fork, because I don't want to mess the boots up, because like I said, I might reuse these on that other one, but I can always put new boots on it if I have to. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to. Well, where is my pickle? Oh, there it is. Had this toolbox forever, and I still opened the wrong drawer. Now if we can let this down easy without that spring flying out and taking my head off, that'd be good. Easy now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, it's got a lot of stuff. Oh, pop off the jack. Perfect. And that's a tall spring. Well, ball joints are still pretty tight, so that's good. So I'll get in there and try to get these control arm bolts and stuff out and get these things off. Well, after much fighting and cuss words and throwing wrenches, finally got the old control arms out. This is them compared to the new ones, so quite a bit of difference. So we're going to try to get these new ones in. It come with new bolts for the lowers. It came with new ones for the uppers, but I'm going to use the other ones because the ones that go in through the frame are splined, and the new ones that it came with aren't, so I think it'll just be easier. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way. Start trying to get these things in there. A light where I can see. see. I'm not going to tighten everything up until we get everything kind of halfway assembled. Probably need to get it at ride height before I tighten everything down, but we'll see. Oh, I love it when things don't want to fit. Well, I've lost my bolt. What the hell? Alright, well, let me regroup for a second. Well, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but I've got this spring compressor in there, and I'm trying to draw the spring up enough to get the lower control arm pulled up. So we'll see how this goes. Kind of hard to do all this and hold the camera and just get it up enough to get the control arm pulled up where the spring will seat, and then I can use the floor jack to do the rest. I might set this camera down and use both hands, so. Alright, so I got this whole side back together. I had to turn the camera off for a little bit because I was having a meltdown, and I really try to keep my page kind of PG, so some of this y'all didn't get to see because I was having a fit. But it's all in there, shocks hooked up, sway bars hooked up. I got to get under and tighten the lower control arm bolts and stuff. But I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get the steering box in before we tackle the other side. At That's going to be fun, because trying to get it up in there and then get the shaft started before I bolt it down and everything. But you know, it can be done. But yeah, it's all back together. I am afraid that these control arms have a little bit of a drop to them, so I'm hoping it doesn't sit too low, because I don't know if y'all remember from my previous videos, I have the wrong oil pan on this motor when I did the LS swap, and so the oil pan hangs down quite a bit, and I've already smacked it once right there pretty good. So I'm afraid if this lowers it a little bit, I'm gonna have to pull that pan and put a different pan on it. But you know, it is what it is. Story of my life, nothing ever works out right. But I'm gonna try to get everything set up to get this steering gear set up in there, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, so I went ahead and got the steering box in there, got the lines hooked up, I got everything hooked up underneath, but I am going to have to use the new rag joint because the splines are different. These are too big, so I guess it's a good thing I went ahead and bought this. So of course this one's a little different. Instead of having this one has like a flat spot and then you tighten the bolt up, and this one's got like a little set screw, so I guess that goes on the flat part on the shaft. So glad I went ahead and bought that. So I'm gonna try to get this on. It's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to get it in there now that I've got everything bolted in, but hopefully we'll get it figured out, and that'll be everything on the steering box. So then all we like is just doing the other side. So wish me luck. All right, so everything is hooked up. The new rag joint is on. Everything is hooked up, and the steering on this side. Obviously, we still have to do everything on this side. Everything, you know, control arms and all that stuff. I am afraid that I am going to have to swap pans on this car, which I had this issue before. I knew it was doing it. I don't know if y'all can see, but the inner tie rods hit the pan right there on both sides before it gets to full lock. And I had put little stops on the, let me see if I can show you on the other control arms. See that bolt and stuff right there? I'd put that on both of the control arms to keep the inner tie rods from hitting the pan. But I do want to be able to get full steering from lock to lock, because it does not have a very good turning radius that way. I have the pan I need on my turbo motor. It's a lot lower profile in the front and the back, but I don't really want to pull it off of that one, so I may see if I can find like a cheap knockoff one and kind of solve this problem now before we start making road trips when the weather clears up, because we got several trips we're wanting to make this year in this car. So, but anyway, I think this video has drug on long enough, and I'm tired and it's getting kind of late and I gotta go to work in the morning. So I think we'll finish up the rest of this in the next video, try to get that other side done. And I got power steering fluid all over everything, so I sprayed it down with brake cleaner so it stinks in here. So I'm going to sign off on this video, and hopefully in the next video we'll get this finished up, and we might, if I can find a pan cheap enough and get it shipped here pretty quick, we may go ahead and try to tackle that. I'm going to try to do it without pulling the motor out, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of room in there to maneuver, but I'm hoping I can undo the motor mounts and just raise the motor up. The problem is because this has the 4L60 in it, and it is right up against the, almost touching the floor pan, so I don't know if I'm gonna have enough room. We'll cross that bridge when we get here. But like I said, I'm gonna stop this video for now, and we will finish it up in the next one. So I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go work on your junk.